Many people ask fearfully, if I am already aware, can I still be cursed? The question is not about the curse. The question is, what kind of awareness? Because many people think they are aware, when in fact, they are only aware of having a spiritual ego. In the land of Java, witchcraft is not just a horror story. It is a symbol of hateful energy, a symbol of malicious intent sent with earnestness. In the Kejawen tradition, it is known as a spiritual attack. In Sufism, it is known as subtle disturbance. In modern psychology, it is known as psychosomatic. The names may differ, but the essence is the same. There is negative energy that can affect the body and mind. So, are those who are aware immune? It's not that simple. A truly aware person is not immune. They are not reactive. Santed works through two doors. 1, fear. 2, belief. If someone strongly believes they can be cursed, their own body will open the door. The body is the servant of the mind. The mind is the servant of belief. If your belief is that I can be attacked, then your nervous system prepares to be attacked, and your body starts to collapse from within. A conscious person knows one thing. No energy can enter without resonance. Energy works like an echo. If your heart is full of resentment, someone else's resentment finds its home. If your heart is full of fear, the fear of others finds its door. But if your inner self is calm, the attack loses its landing place. However, don't be mistaken. Being aware does not mean being arrogant. Many people say, I have reached enlightenment. Black magic doesn't affect me. In fact, that statement shows that there is still an ego wanting to be invulnerable. As long as there is a desire to be invulnerable, there is still hidden fear. And fear is a magnet. A truly aware person is not busy asking, can I be cursed or not? They are busy cleansing their inner self. Because he knows, if the mind is clean, every attack turns into a test of awareness. In spiritual history, many saints have been slandered, attacked, even wronged. See how the Sufis like Jalaluddin Rumi do not respond to hatred with hatred. See how Sheikh Siti Jenar is more focused on uncovering awareness than fighting back against attacks. It's not because they are invulnerable, but because they no longer live in the realm of fear. Witchcraft works strongly on a fragmented soul, a soul that still wants to be praised, still wants to win, still wants to prove itself, because that's where the gap is. If someone insults a conscious person, the conscious person does not feel attacked. If someone hates him, he does not retaliate inwardly. At that point, the energy stops. However, if the person who claims to be aware is still offended, still angry, still holds a grudge, then he can still be shaken, not because the curse is strong, but because his ego is not yet resolved. The deeper question is not whether a conscious person can be affected by witchcraft. The more honest question is, have I truly overcome my fears? Because the strongest witchcraft is not from outside. The strongest witchcraft is our own mind. A mind that continuously produces anxiety, imagines enemies, creates threats. That is the daily curse we nurture. A conscious person understands a simple law. Energy follows awareness. If your awareness is high, low energy struggles to persist. If your awareness drops due to fear, negative energy finds space. So it's not about being immune or not, but about being stable or not. Imagine a lake. If the water is calm, a thrown stone only creates small ripples. If the water is already murky and wavy, a small ripple can become a storm. Awareness is clarity, so the most honest answer is, just imagine, a person who is stably aware is not easily affected by witchcraft. Not because of being protected by amulets, not because of being immune to the supernatural, but because there are no open doors. However, someone who just feels aware, who still carries spiritual ego, can still be shaken. And this is the greatest test. Does your awareness depend on conditions? Or does it remain intact when insulted, slandered, or frightened? Because if your awareness collapses just because of people's words, how can it withstand negative energy? So, if you are afraid of being cursed, don't look for protection just yet. Find your silence, cleanse your grudges, forgive your enemies. Release the desire for revenge, because when your heart is free from hostility, there is no longer any resonance for hatred. And perhaps the question about witchcraft is just a way for you to encounter your deepest fears. Because as long as there is something to fear, your awareness is not complete, and the journey is still long. And if you ask again, what if it has already entered the body? What if there is already a tightness in the chest? Unexplained dizziness, restlessness without reason, strange dreams coming one after another. Does that mean the witchcraft worked? Relax. This is where the real lesson begins. If something is already felt in your body, don't panic. Don't immediately fight back. Don't rush to find out who attacked. Because when you fight with fear, you give additional energy to the disturbance. All you need to do is one thing: observe. Yes, that's it. Observe your breath. Notice the sensations in your body. Notice the fear that arises. Do not label it. Do not create a story. Just be present. Because all problems actually only ask for one thing: to be noticed by awareness. Pain wants to be noticed. Fear wants to be noticed. Even negative energy wants to be recognized, not fought against. When you observe it calmly, without drama, without wild imagination, you are turning on the light. And darkness can never withstand light. Black magic, if it indeed exists, works like a seed in dark soil. It grows under unconsciousness. It thrives in panic. But when you sit, stay still, and observe it, that energy loses its nourishment. Because its main food is reaction. Try to feel this. If your chest feels heavy, sit down, breathe slowly, place your attention right at that heavy point. Do not say, "This is witchcraft." Do not say, "I am being attacked." Just feel it. Let the sensation move. At first, it may feel stronger because it is aware of being observed. But if you do not retreat, do not resist, do not panic, it will change. All sensations in the body always change. Nothing is permanent. Awareness makes you see that. People who are not yet aware always want to expel. People who start to become aware begin to observe. Those who are truly aware let it be, because they know this body is a space of events. All energy comes and goes. They are not the owner. They are just a witness. The biggest problem is not the energy that comes in. The biggest problem is our rejection. Rejection creates tension. Tension creates gaps. Gaps strengthen disturbances. On the other hand, acceptance creates relaxation. Relaxation closes the gap. Awareness dissolves the burden. Many people seek shamans to remove something from their bodies. However, often what needs to be removed is not the energy, but the fear. Because it is fear that binds it to stay. If you observe with full awareness that energy is like a guest who knows they are not being expelled and eventually feels embarrassed to stay long. Remember this deeply. Awareness is not resistance. Awareness is light, and light never fights with darkness. It simply exists. Once it is present, darkness disappears on its own. So if something already feels like it's entering your body, don't panic, sit down, be still, observe. Because maybe it's not an attack. Maybe it's a part of yourself that you've been suppressing, which finally emerges seeking attention. And everything that seeks the attention of awareness will heal when truly seen. So, the final question is no longer, can I be affected by witchcraft? But, am I brave enough to face everything that arises within me without running away? That is where awareness is tested and where freedom begins. If something feels like it enters your body and you have already paid attention to it, but the sensation remains, that's where the second door opens. The door of self-recognition. Because often what we call an attack is old emotions finally finding their way home. It could be anger that you once suppressed. It could be a childhood wound that you never allowed to cry. It could be the feeling of worthlessness that you have long hidden behind a spiritual mask. And when that energy emerges, the ego immediately looks for a scapegoat. This is witchcraft. This is someone else's doing. Someone doesn't like me. But it could be yourself knocking on the door of awareness. Notice this very subtle thing. Anything truly from the outside will not last long if there is no connection inside. External energy can only cling to unresolved wounds. If there are no wounds, it is like rain falling on dry stone. It disappears quickly. So when you sit and observe, don't just pay attention to the sensation. Also, pay attention to the story. What thoughts arise? Who do you blame? What fear comes up first? Because that is where the real root is. Deep awareness is not just observing feelings. It penetrates to the source of identity. You might say, I am in pain. But who is this I? The body? The mind? Or the awareness that witnesses the body and mind? If you truly enter the position of the witness, you will see something surprising. The body can tremble. The breath can be heavy. The mind can be chaotic. Yet there is a space within you that remains intact. Untouched, undisturbed, unthreatened. That space is not the body, not the mind. It is pure consciousness. And witchcraft, if it exists, can never touch that space. The problem is, we rarely reside there. We more often reside in the mind, and the mind is easily shaken. True awareness does not mean the body does not react. The body may react, but you are no longer merged with that reaction. Like clouds passing in the sky is never torn by clouds. Like waves appearing in the sea does not lose its depth. If you are in that depth, no matter how big the waves are, they will not drown you. There is an even deeper stage. When you truly observe without resisting, that foreign energy will transform into pure sensation.